I created a community for ticket resellers. Hi, I'm AP The Plug, a successful ticket reseller. I've helped several people start their own online ticket business. Now I'm offering you access to our exclusive membership program, complete with resources, tools, and coaching to help you succeed. With our program, you can earn extra income, enjoy a flexible schedule, and follow proven strategies to succeed. Don't wait. Click the link below to get started today and transform your financial future.
All right, so David Banner speaks on Diddy and black folks turning on each other. I'm not going to be long. I'm going to say a little bit, but let's get to what Dave has to say, and then stick around for my commentary on what he said. Rotate.
Is really, really upsetting to me. It's almost like we have been convinced anytime that it has something to do with our culture, it's almost like we salivate at the mouth to tear each other down. And what makes me upset is within our community, just about anybody that the world decides is wrong, if they were doing something wrong, we knew about it in our community for 10, 15 years and didn't do shit about it. And as soon as the rest of the world decides that they want to go on a witch hunt, then we try to beat them to the punch. And we go out of our way to tell jokes and laugh and criticize. That shit is sad. That shit is really, really sad. I don't know why we act like we winning or we act like we have a lot of heroes in our community and a lot of people that want to help us. Is really, really upsetting to me. It's almost like we have been convinced anytime that it has something to do with our culture, it's almost like we salivate at the mouth to tear each other down. And what makes me upset is within our community, just about anybody that the world decides is wrong, if they were doing something wrong, we knew about it in our community for 10, 15 years and didn't do shit about it. And as soon as the rest of the world decides that they want to go on a witch hunt, then we try to beat them to the punch. And we go out of our way to tell jokes and laugh and criticize. That shit is sad. That shit is really, really sad. I don't know why we act like we winning or we act like we have a lot of heroes in our community and a lot of people that want to help us tear each other apart. I've been being more and more quiet because I don't think now is the time to be doing a whole bunch of talking. And everybody got a fucking opinion about everything, even shit that they know. If neuroscience becomes the hot topic tomorrow, every other podcast in our fucking community gonna have something to say about neuroscience, and the motherfuckers know they don't know nothing about no neuroscience. You know, I'm just here to give perspective, y'all. That's all. Do whatever the fuck you decide to do, but it ain't right, y'all. We don't do each other right. We don't have to be this way. We don't have to be this way. But if something happened, you want the same people that you criticize to help you or protect you or donate or tear each other apart. I've been being more and more quiet because I don't think now is the time to be doing a whole bunch of talking. And everybody got a fucking opinion about everything, even shit that they know. If neuroscience becomes the hot topic tomorrow, every other podcast in our fucking community gonna have something to say about neuroscience, and the motherfuckers know they don't know nothing about no neuroscience. You know, I'm just here to give perspective, y'all. That's all. Do whatever the fuck you decide to do, but it ain't right, y'all. We don't do each other right. We don't have to be this way. We don't have to be this way. But if something happened, you want the same people that you criticize to help you or protect you or donate or like you ain't got to help them folks. And what's crazy is when somebody else does something outside of our community to us, we have to hoop and holler. They hardly ever get convicted. But we will hang each other. But what we don't understand is they're going to make sure that we pay. They're going to make sure we go to jail. They're going to make sure that we suffer for the rest of our life. They do cocaine and crack and be sexual deviants and then become superstars and superheroes. And we say nothing. We say nothing. The people on our dollar bills are ex-slave owners, and we don't say take them off a dollar bill or take those people who, did those wrong things off of TV, but let one of us do something. I'm talking about do anything, and we would tell, like, you ain't got to help them folks. And what's crazy is when somebody else does something outside of our community to us, we have to hoop and holler. They hardly ever get convicted. But we will hang each other. But what we don't understand is they're going to make sure that we pay. They're going to make sure we go to jail. They're going to make sure that we suffer for the rest of our life. They do cocaine and crack and be sexual deviants and then become superstars and superheroes. And we say nothing. We say nothing. The people on our dollar bills are ex-slave owners, and we don't say take them off a dollar bill or take those people who, did those wrong things off of TV, but let one of us do something. I'm talking about do anything, and we would
And we speak on the same type of topics here. We like to be a light in a very, very dark world because, sometimes you got to state the obvious. Everybody just can't be a podcast that's you have your space for entertainment, you have your space for comedians, you have your space for sports, but you also need to have your space for grown man conversations, and guys are going to give it to you 100% real without worrying about, disrupting a corporate sponsor or ruffling the wrong feathers, somebody in your ear telling you that you can't talk about this. That's why, it's incumbent that we support the independent platforms like ours, but nevertheless, what Dave's saying is 100% correct. The old saying goes, once the elephant falls, all the animals in the jungle come to attack. But as long as that elephant is standing strong, firm, not even the king of the jungle, the lion, will dare challenge him. The hippos move out the way. The venomous snakes get stepped on. The rats get stepped on. The birds won't dare land on the elephant. But when he falls, everyone comes to feast on the carcass. And the crazy part about the Diddy situation is that it's just speculation right now. Yeah, we hearing stuff. Yeah, he's been charged, but he has not been convicted. So in the eyes of the law that they write, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Not innocent until an allegation comes out. Not innocent until 1,000 people come out and say something. Not innocent because they say you did something with this person or this person comes out. Not innocent, until you get arrested. Innocent until proven guilty. But we're quick to jump down each other's throats. We're quick to attack each other. It's sad. It's sad. So with that being said, I'm going to digress. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. As a special, I'm going to actually play the David Banner interview, a portion of it that we did with David Banner some time ago. And listen to our exclusive interview with David Banner where he breaks a lot of things down. Leave a comment below and enjoy the rest of the interview.
I believe that I believe that hip hop has always been a direct reflection of where we are culturally. And I think we spend so much time focusing on these children, and it's not the children, it's us. Similar to what our parents did by sitting us in front of video games, by sitting us in front of the television and running off and chasing an American dream that was never meant for them. I believe we did that in hip hop. You know, Big Crit was the one who actually showed me this, like, and Salih Robinson from my podcast, from the David Banner podcast. He was like, if you really think about J. Cole's generation, Kendrick Lamar's generation, Big Crit generation, there was only a few people that came from that generation because we didn't properly pass the time. So you have so many outlets that sit back and point their finger at these children instead of helping to raise them. We sit back and point at our children as if they're not our children. Our kids are a direct reflection of what we did or did not teach or do for them. So I think instead of looking at people from the outside, we should do more to protect and more to teach. You know, man, a lot of these kids, man, they wish that we would come in the studio with them, bro. Like I'm starting to find that out now, that from a producer standpoint, I'm getting the opportunity to spend more time with these kids. It's like they were just put in front of a camera with no understanding. We didn't sign them. We were, and in the case of the South, what happened with us is that we didn't have nobody to really show us the business game. So we were just working to try to figure this game out. But what ended up happening was we left a gap in the music industry, and most people didn't properly pass the baton. So a lot of these kids are out there by themselves, man. When I went up to Ferguson, I remember the things that most of the revolutionaries that were outside in Ferguson, they're from the ages of 15 to about 24. And the thing that them kids kept saying are, where's our elders? Like as soon as the sun goes down and as soon as the CNN leaves, like they leave.
Wow.
I think, bro, it's not their responsibility to come to us. They are the children. We are supposed to come to them.
Fact.
My opinion.
Fact.
You were talking about Offset reaching out to you at a point in his life, and you made an analogy that, you know, a lot of these guys in the street, you know, really just want somebody to go talk to, but they take their anger out in other ways. They kind of say fuck you because nobody's reaching down to them. Can you talk about, you know, Offset, you know, reaching out to you and that whole dynamic with the elders and the youth as well?
Well, no, he didn't reach out to me. What happened was I was driving down the street and I saw him.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, and he was like, OG. So he said, come over, and I pulled over, and then we just sat and talked for a minute.
Mhm.
And like he just basically was like, yo, like, bro, I want to do better. I don't know how to. He's like, I just don't know how. And I remember that feeling with my father. My father used to always tell me, man. And like that's the difference between me and a lot of entertainers is I had a father in my house. My father did not play. As a matter of fact, up until my father got brain and lung cancer, I don't know, and I'm pretty good with my hands. I don't know if I could have ever taken my father physically up until he got sick. I always had a strong role model in my house. So the thing was, I used to tell my dad that, like, my dad would tell me to do stuff, and I was like, Dad, I just don't know how to do it. Show me better. And it's so crazy, you know. And this is not just about the kids. This is about us too. And I'm speaking of myself too. We go and elect, or we'll get the most hood artist in the whole wide world, and that's the person that we elect as our spokesperson in hip hop. But then we expect them, if something goes wrong with the water in our city, we expect them to be chemists. If when it's time for politics, we expect them to be able to debate with politicians. But you didn't deem Talib Kweli, you didn't deem Killer Mike the leader of, we expect something out of these kids and out of these rappers that they didn't sign up for. And it's really not fair. A lot of times, and our generation should take responsibility over that. That's one of the only regrets that I have in my hip hop life, is that we ushered to these kids money over everything, and then we got mad when they chose money over everything.
Yeah. So with that being said, how do we get a stronghold over it? Because now we're sitting here as middle-aged men with children, with boys, with sons and daughters, but sons in particular. How do we get the stronghold back onto it so we don't continue to see the stuff and the shit that we're still seeing?
You just do what you can. You just do what you can when you can. Like, man, I just did, and I know you know this because that's where the Offset thing came from. I just did the 85 South podcast, man.
Yeah.
And bro, those kids came from everywhere. I mean, a lot of them kids were like, we didn't even know who you were. Like, but like we want to learn. We want to learn. And I got so many DMs from people who's like, well, since you Since you talking to the rappers, come talk to me.
Yeah.
And just offer yourself. Let people know that you're open. And just in you all's podcast, man, I know that it's more popularized and we get instant hits from being drama filled. But no bullshit, man. This is something that hurts me, bro. 90% of everything that's connected with hip hop destroys hip hop. And I'm talking about whether it's the hip hop sites, the podcasts, the rappers, the producers. It's like we say that we hip hop, but we hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't build with each other. We don't. Okay, it's cool if we beefing, but why when somebody attack a hip hop artist, especially when there's no proof, we condemn that artist before. I mean, even quicker than the white folks do.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we can do. I just talked about this on Instagram this morning. When I went up to Ebony and Jet magazine, they told me the history of Ebony and Jet. And one of the elders pulled me to the side. He said, David Banner, it was as much sexual deviance, as much drama and music back when our parents and grandparents were in it. It was just an unsigned law that there's some stuff that we wasn't going to report about. Some stuff we ain't got to put on Front Street. Some stuff we shouldn't put on cameras. People spend so much time with cameras in their faces when you could have stopped it yourself. Why you going to go report it to somebody else? Put the phone down and help.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that we can do to get a stronghold on our culture is stop complaining about where hip hop is and do something with the control that we have right now. I want you all to think about this. I have this saying that if we wanted to clean the earth up, right, we could clean up 70% of the earth if everybody who owned something or lived in some place went just in their yard and picked up the paper in their yard. If you own a business, just pick up the paper in front of your business. Is if everybody did their part inherently and just stepped outside of where they live. If people would just take care of their kids, like don't worry about nobody else's kids. Don't worry about nobody else's city. Don't worry about nobody else's block. Most of these grown-ups who criticize these kids, they scared to talk to the kids that's on their block. Man, when the pandemic first happened, bro, these kids I would make the black kids come sit on my steps. I never forget, man. That's when my clothing line had just blew up. I came and brought my shoes out. I came and brought my t-shirt out. And I told them I made this. I made this. I said, I didn't wait on somebody else to create this. I made this. I sat down and told them, like, the little girls in our neighborhood, y'all make sure that y'all look after these girls, because one of the things is, man, it's sad, but a lot of us didn't have fathers, whether it was because crack, whether it's because the way America attacked the black male body and put us in jail, whatever it may end up being. So we got to be each other's father. Charlemagne told me, man, and it shocked me, bro. I asked Charlemagne, I said, Charlemagne, man, why these kids love me the way that they do? Like, they don't know my music. He said, man, because a lot of these kids don't have fathers. And in the same way that they go to Pornhub for sex and, go to school online and all these other things, a lot of these people find their fathers online too. So Charlemagne was like, you, Tip, UTI, Killer Mike, and he named off a couple other people. He said, y'all are a lot of these children's fathers, whether you like it or not. So what I try to do is I try to in my own way, try to do what I can with the power that I have.
Definitely. If you made that, let's go back a little bit, man. I'm curious to know, you're from Mississippi, a small town in Mississippi. How was your upbringing in Mississippi, man? Could you let our audience know about that? How'd you kind of grow up?
Actually, I'm from a fairly big town. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
When I was growing up, Jackson, Mississippi was the murder capital of the United States. I don't. It's hard, man. I don't know if y'all go through this. When people ask you about your childhood, you don't really look at it as special or bad. It's just what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was real violent, but that's how it always been. The only thing about Mississippi that was a little bit different is um, it was so peaceful and so beautiful until it wasn't. And it would turn into hell, and then they wipe up the blood, and it'd be back, the South again. One thing that I love about being a Southerner, and I think it's changing now. Like, we had killers just like anybody else, but like in the South, where I was from, we would shoot you in your head before we would let you starve.
Mm.
Like, you wasn't gonna starve. Two things: you wasn't gonna starve and you wasn't gonna drown. We might pull you out the water and stab you, but it's just certain things that we just didn't do. It was a certain ethic code. I remember growing up, man. When I was growing up, the dope dealers would hurt you or kill you if you sold dope to women, pregnant women. They serve women. They serve women, but pregnant women or children, they would handle that. And I know this was similar to most towns, and it ain't like that no more. If you was a little kid that played basketball, you had amnesty. You was safe. They protected you. I got in most of my trouble when I got older, because folks was always like, "That's that music dude." Like, I've been doing hip hop since I was in the 6th grade. When they wasn't playing, they would only play rap when I started rapping. They only played it on WNPR from 2 to 6 on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to search for hip hop. So like, for me, man, growing up in Mississippi was beautiful, man. And I'm grateful, because like, even when I go and debate on CNN or wherever I debate from, and they say I'm from Mississippi, them white folks don't even want to debate with me about racism. They say they say they say he know it. You know what I mean? But the truth is, I'll tell y'all something really funny, really quick about Mississippi. I would always tell people that, as I've traveled all the way, traveled all around the world, and the white people in Mississippi, if I had to choose, I would always choose a Mississippi white person. And people ask me, why is that? If I had to choose,
Wow.
it's because if they loved you, they would die for you. If they hate you, then they're gonna try to kill you. At least you know where you stand.
Mm.
That's
You
all I
know,
want from. That's all I want from anybody on this planet, is the truth.
it's funny. When I was a kid, one of the like, I had states that I would never travel to as an adult, and Mississippi was one of them. And one of the reasons why is because of the programming I got as a kid, slave movies and all the shit that you hear as far as racism in Mississippi scared you to death. We from Jersey, so it's like, no, don't ever travel to Mississippi as a black person. Talk about that misconception. People up north are.
Yeah, I've never seen a Klan member in a robe.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be honest with you. The most racist place I've ever seen before is Boston, Massachusetts.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And black people will tell you, like,
Yeah.
it's some parts it's still some parts in Brooklyn. It's still some parts in Brooklyn that you can't walk in as a black person at night. And I lived in Harlem for 6 years. I know where those places are. Mississippi just suffered from, and not saying that we don't have our problems. I wouldn't sit up here and say that, but we are dealing with history. I tell people this all the time when people complain about, the music that I used to make, and what people don't understand, a lot of that shit 10, 15, and in some cases 20 years old. And if you took a snapshot of you when you 10, 20 years ago, you probably wouldn't be be so proud of the things that you see. Most of the things that people talk about in Mississippi are stuff that happened 50, 60, 70 years ago. And if you're talking about food, if you're talking about people, and the thing that I don't understand about our folks is, I talked about the Black Exodus in a post that went viral just recently. And I was like, man, if you're not from the islands, you from the South.
Yeah.
And our people was either supposed to come back and teach, or bring us back to the promised land. But people went to their different places and copped the same attitudes that the white folks copped about people who were below the Mason-Dixon line. When in actuality, that's where you're from. You know, music, samples, all of these things that people talk about from the South. Harlem for the most part is Mississippi up north.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The west side of Chicago and most of the south side of Chicago is Mississippi North. You know, that's where our people went to. But some kind of way, what they say, the revolutionaries got a government job.
Mm-hmm.
We forgot who we were and what our responsibility is or was. That's sort of how I am about rap. People try just because they perceive me to be conscious, they think that I'm gonna turn my nose up at these kids. No, I'm the dude that made play. I'm the dude that made, get down on the floor. Like I
Yeah.
never turn my nose up from where I came from. Because the thing that people don't understand about me, man, conscious folks don't like me for the most part, or they scared of me. Them folks don't. And maybe with the exception of like Talib Kweli and Erica Badu and a few people like that, and Ninth Wonder, but Dave Chappelle. But for the most part, it's Tip, it's Jeezy, it's Snoop. Those are folks that donate. Those are folks that come and help me. Conscious folk don't like me, bro, and I didn't come from that. Like I don't want to be sitting around talking to people who are already enlightened. You're supposed to be out in the streets. If you look at the story of Jesus was with the hoes and the thieves. It was the people that was behind the walls of the churches that put him down. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, bro, I love our people and I know why we act the way that we act. So I believe that God allowed me to be from Mississippi. And so I would never. Have y'all ever seen Captain America before?
Yep.
One of the most powerful lines came from Captain America. If y'all remember the story of Captain America, he was the smallest dude in the armed forces. Period. Literally, little one. And he went to the scientists and asked him, like, why did you give me this power out of all of these strong men? And he said, because you know how it feels to be on the other end of the sword. So if I give you the sword before you swing it, you will always remember what it felt like to be on the other side. And that's the reason why I'm the man that I am, because I know how even people in the South feel about Mississippi. So God allowed me to be from the places where our people had the hardest struggle. But Minister Farrakhan said, but that's where the real leaders, that's the more pain you've gone through and you've been able to survive, makes you a better man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the reason why I haven't gone crazy in hip hop. Dog, I've been through so much in hip hop, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I done seen so much, didn't have so many disappointments. I can't even sit up here and lie to y'all, man. Like, I'm grateful that, you know how y'all see a lot of artists that y'all knew from back in the days, and you walk up and see them and they ain't there no more.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I was really close to being that person, man, and I'm thankful that I still got my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that I can still engage, bro. It's a blessing.
So the transition when you were making the hip hop music, then you kind of took a transition. What was the reason for that? Were you always kind of like that, or was it like a specific reason why you say, you know what, I want to kind of take this lane as opposed to continuing to rap about what I was rapping about before?
Tip said it better than anybody I've ever seen before. He said it on the Breakfast Club. I think Angela Yee asked him. She was like, "You're a pimp, you're a hustler, you're a revolutionary, you're a father, you're a role model. Like, which one is the real Tip?" And Tip said, "I'm all of them." That ain't like acting like you one thing is what's fake. For you to act like you a killer and you got a daughter and you don't make no song about love. You love your daughter. If you keep it at 100, like you said, why you don't make one song about your daughter? You go to church sometimes. Talk about that one time you went to church. Like, my thing is I don't think anything is wrong with hip hop. The only problem with hip hop is that we sold it to white people. So we spend more time trying to appease white people in white America instead of just making great music. You know what I'm saying? And allow it to fall where it is, bro. We have given our culture away, you know, and I just think hip hop needs balance. And we're gonna go back to these kids when we talk about I talked about this when I defended our First Amendment rights. People don't even know I along with 3 others, we out debated Congress. People don't know that about our First Amendment rights. And I told him, if y'all want me to rap about roses, come plant some. If on our podcast, if on our radio stations, we applauded people who rapped about something else, our kids just want to be successful. I tell teachers that all the time. If you had a choice to work at McDonald's or sell dope, which one would you do? And most of the teachers said McDonald's, and I said that's why these kids don't listen to you, because you lying. Children do what is most successful, how they can get the bread. All of us are that way. But we look at our children different when they take the route that is the most successful. Why would they rap about something that ain't nobody buying? I told a dude that one time, I said, do they smoke meth around here? And he was like, nah. I said, do you sell meth? He was like, no. I said, why not? He said, because it don't sell. I said, all right, then. So if we applauded, if we pushed more, and the thing is, between y'all, one of the reasons why I rapped about something different is because I knew I had bread. And I knew that kids, if I rapped about something, if kids saw the success, they see the cars, they see me looking good and eating muscles and shit, that they would automatically connect it with my rap record. But dude, I do so well in business. That shit don't be about rap. But they just want success. They just want to be around something successful. We just got to show better, bro. And I don't mean that means that we got to start rapping about what we rap. If it's in our neighborhoods, we rap about it. But it's more to us than just that. I just think we should broaden the scope and applaud those who decide to broaden the scope.
Indeed, I want to transition a little bit into the recent actions we've seen in Minnesota, and then the Black Army Lieutenant Karan Azario that got maced in December that we're starting to see now. And we're starting to begin to see the protest again and starting to see people get revved up. And I can't help but to feel like this is like I don't know, like the
say what you mean. Say what you mean. I know what you mean. Say what you mean. Just
they're trying to portray the victim role so heavy on us on the TV, like we have no control or no power, and this is the new wave, and it's kind of frustrating to see. And then we see our celebrities and our officials telling us we need to vote, and then we vote. Or the black people, or we as a black people go out and vote for Joe Biden. And that was nothing but an extension off of Obama, in my opinion. And we hear more of the same, more of the rhetoric, more of this, more of that. And it seems like we're bringing a knife to a motherfucking AK-47 fight. And we're just in a completely different game.
To a nuclear bomb fight. No, I disagree. No. We're not bringing a knife. We're bringing a peace sign.
Bro, oh my Lord. 2 fingers.
Like, dog, bro. But be more specific. Make sure you say some entertainers. If you go and look when we get off of this interview, y'all go look on what I posted on Instagram this morning. I talked about the same thing. And I don't know if y'all been noticing this. Bro, I used to be in the forefront of just about everything that happens with our people.
Yeah.
And I stepped back because I think we're going down the wrong road. Like, I don't agree with all the stuff that we're doing. To be honest with you, on paper, the vice president and the president did more to hurt black and brown people, especially as it pertains to the school to prison pipeline or the prison industrial system as a whole, then Trump was a lot of rhetoric. Let's be clear. He said a lot of dumb shit, but I'm talking about on paper, Joe Biden is the worst, bro. On paper, I'm talking about not emotional stuff like, speeches, and I'm talking about actual laws passed and written up. Like, Kamala, I know how people are all emotional about her. Look at her history as it pertains to her own people. I wasn't one of those people, bro. But what I decided to do is I decided to sit back, because the thing is, man, is I believe we have this church mentality, and we just think that a white dude gonna come out the sky one day and save us. I study white people, man. White people come from cold climates, bro, and they come from a cold rock where they have to import 70% of everything that it takes for us to or for a human to survive. These white people are genetically at war, bro. That's what we don't understand. When they see our black bodies, black and brown people can take over this earth if we just continue reproducing at the rate that we do. When they look at us, they see a threat. We don't even know that we are at war, bro. So it's like for us to sit back and think that they're going to convict their uncles, their sisters, and their brothers, even when they wrong. Like, come on, that's stupid. Like, we've seen over and over again that they're going to lie. Like, watch this, bro. This is going to trip y'all out. This happens just about every time an innocent black man, woman, or child is killed. They do 4 things every fucking time. Watch this. This is going to trip y'all out. They lie. If you remember when Mike Brown was murdered, they changed the story 3 times before they even did a proper investigation. I'm talking about just made up shit, right? They lie. They vilify. And they say dumb shit. Like, oh, he smokes weed. There ain't no excuse for you to kill somebody. If somebody isn't running towards you with a gun or a knife drawn, there's no reason for you to even draw your pistol.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, black cops don't make a mistake. If it was really a mistake, we don't make a mistake when we shoot white kids. They don't make the same mistake on their kids. So it's not a mistake. But we are the fools to think that they're ever going to do any better. I have this saying, guys, that God is really playing. If God is doing this to you, we'll say, God don't love us. God is making us. No, God telling you, fool, turn your head. And that will stop. But we keep doing the same thing, thinking people who have it stuck. Think about this. Take all emotions away. Nearly every place that an old white man has gone on this earth, he's created mischief, pain, death, rape, the most vile things on this planet. I tell people all the time, laws in America were not made for a good reason. Laws in America are what white men use to gain power. And so they make rules so you won't get power the same way. Didn't they speed? Didn't they murder? Don't they still murder? Don't they still speed? Don't they still drive fast? Yep. If we're not supposed to drive fast, why cops are always running up and down the street going 400 miles an hour?
Flying.
They say in their Bible, thou shalt not kill. They don't say, exceptions to this. It said thou shalt not kill, period. I tell people that all the time. We always talk about laws and politics and all that. There's already laws in the books that say that you're not supposed to kill innocent people. They just don't believe that you and I are worthy of those laws. And it's not going to stop. And I say this all the time. If y'all ever been following me, you know this. It's only 2 things that white society respects. It's the loss of life or the loss of money. If you're not doing anything to affect their lives or their money, you ain't doing shit. And the truth is, man, like, all this debating, that's why if you notice, y'all don't see me on CNN and all that kind of stuff no more. Because the last time I went to CNN, I asked them, I said, what do you want me to say that I didn't say when Mike Brown was murdered? Trayvon Martin, even Emmett Till, what do you want me to say? I've been telling you the same thing over and over again. But people listen when you smack them in their mouth, or you take their house, or you take their car, or you take their freedom away. But their parents not going to do that. People that look like them not going to do that.